We're back at the cabin site after about 5 months. It's winter now, and you can tell a bunch of things have grown up. Everything was packed up over the summer, but you can see a lot has grown up here just in those 5 months. During that time, you can see that Jorge knocked down the old chimney and brought the remains over here, so I'm hoping we can reuse some of that rock in rebuilding the chimney. And so now we need to, looks like everything survived pretty well over the summer. Hopefully it didn't get too wet. Looks like it didn't work so well on some of the ends here, but I think we'll be okay. So now we've got to come in here and look at these big floor beams that we've got. This one in the front and this one here in the back. And we've already got the footings poured, of course, but I want to add a couple more footings here in the middle. You know, down through here to kind of help support the floor joist that'll be in between the two beams. So we'll have got one footing over here, and got all our corner footings already dug. So we'll just need to line these up right here, and so that's a good view of what it'll look like. This big beam will rest very similar to these two concrete blocks here. They'll be stacked on top of these concrete footings, and then we'll have the floor joist built in the middle. So that's what I'm hoping to work on. Then we can start unpacking all these things and seeing how many of the logs we can use. And then this will eventually be the porch. And now that it's November, a lot of the leaves have fallen, and you can get a pretty good view of the pond. This is what the front porch is going to look like, and if we clear some of this out, you should get a nice little view of the pond in the morning when you have your coffee. So let's get to work. So it's good news, most everything's been pretty dry, but as I uncover everything, I found a little early start on another rat's nest here, which is funny because this is exactly the same spot when the log cabin was standing, that the rats love to get in this little crevice here, and they were building nests in the wall. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. But it's also funny too to see how he went and got all the twine that I had been used for measurements to build his nest. All 9 footings have been poured now. This is the last one. Poured it yesterday, and it's setting up pretty good. So those are the ones in the middle. So now we're going to start stacking the cinder blocks on top of those. It'll end up looking a lot like this when I'm done. Hopefully get the 3 cinder blocks set up. So we've got the 9 piers all set up around, and so I'll lay the dimensional lumber across these piers here, these concrete piers. So now we've got to set those cinder blocks up and mortar them together. All right, we've got the first row of cinder block piers finished. So I'm ready to move the front beam and try and position it on the front 3 piers to see how well we did on getting it level and positioning it and measuring it. So it's an irregular beam. You can see it. Again, it's a beautiful piece of timber, and you can see the broad axe marks here where it was hewn down from a round log to a square piece. And what we've got here on this side, it's pretty square actually, but it's about 9.5 inches by 9.5 inches. On the other side, this side is a little longer. So what I'm going to end up doing is rolling it over a couple of times and let this be the bottom and this be the top. But we've got the piers built here, and you can sort of see how the construction is here. So we've got the footings, I've already covered that up with dirt, but then we've got the cinder blocks stacked here and mortared together, and we've got the brick ties here so I can eventually put some rock, a rock facade on the outside, and mortar some rocks on the outside to make that look better. And then on the inside we've got the rebar in here, and then we filled each inside with concrete. And then I've got a strong tie here. This is not the right way to use it, I don't think, but I just slid that down in the concrete, and I wanted to have something to tie the beam to the pier with instead of just resting on it. I mean, it's fine because it's 1,000 pounds. It's not really going to go anywhere, and we're going to have three piers here instead of the 2 that it originally was on. So now I've got to inch this up. You can see I'm trying to get it high enough. It's too heavy for me to lift, obviously. So I'm just inching it up 1 2x4 at a time until I get it to the height. And then I bought this new tool I'm pretty excited about. It's called a PV tool, or a cant hook. And it's still got the bubble wrap on it, but you can sort of see how it would work. It uses the leverage, and if you get the hook around and use the lever here, you can turn the log. So we're going to use that for setting this up. So just bear with me as I move this this side up. So this has got to go up at least a couple of cinder blocks to get up to the top of here. So we've got to bring this up a little ways. So I'll show you how I'm inching that up. All right, we've got the front pier in place. I ended up sticking a little piece of rebar underneath this to help me kind of roll it across. If you'll remember, this was hanging out by about 6 inches, so it allowed me to push it across the 3 piers and center it a little bit. And so that's resting. That's about where we need it to be. This middle pier there's a bit of a gap in there, if you can see it. That's about probably an inch or so. So I'll have to put something in there to shim it, I guess. And then this side's looking pretty good. I got about a 3-inch overhang there. That's good. And that's resting on the rebar for now. So I think, you know, it's an irregular beam. So, I mean, that's not terrible. We got almost level. It looks like it could, if you lifted this up just a hair, but it's not like the top of this beam is gonna be level. So all things considered, we're looking pretty good.